want to show you an example of how I use two of my favorite NINZA indicators, the volume delta and solar wind. This solar wind is exactly as it is out of the box. All I did was change the candle colors and I took away the signals that it prints. All I want to see is the candle color, which is being printed by the solar wind, the trend line, and the stop lines. This is a great trend indicator based on average true range, and I like to use it in conjunction with the volume delta. This is a chart from last week, Friday, December 1st. Here we are at the New York Open, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Our candles are a light pink, which signifies a weakened downtrend, and if we break above this pink dotted line, we will be in an uptrend. 3 minutes into the open, we get a darker red candle, so the trend is resuming, strong downtrend, and at the same time, I'm getting a strong red negative volume delta on the same candle. Great place to get in right there. Price came down 30 points in 3 minutes. Now we have a nice big candle to the upside. Our candle turns green, being painted by the solar wind. We are officially in an uptrend on the solar wind. And at the same time, we get this very strong, bullish volume delta. Great place to get in long right there. And as we're going along in this solar wind uptrend, you can see the strong bullish delta is continuing to come in. Although, as price continues up, the volume delta is slowly declining, and we get a little bit of a pullback there. But from this entry point to the top, over 35 points. So now we get a change in the solar wind, but the delta that's coming in is not as strong as back here. And we can see we've got so much positive delta that has just come in to the upside. So not the strongest signal right there. On this candle right here, we get a little heads up. We've got some strong bullish delta coming in, even though the solar wind is in a bearish trend. We get a little heads up that that might not be for too long, and sure enough, we pop up 40 points from there. This next candle we turn bullish on the solar wind, and we get more strong positive delta. If you got in on the close of this candle, there's still over 20 points to get right there in less than a minute. Here we get a trend change, but once again, the delta, not that strong. Not a great signal. But we stay in a bearish solar wind trend, and finally, on this candle, nice big healthy red candle, and look at this. Lots of strong negative delta coming in. Great place to get in there. Price comes down 25 points in 3 minutes. And now we break to the upside on the solar wind, but we don't have a strong bullish volume delta candle. So again, not the best entry. And on this candle, even though we're still in an uptrend on the solar wind, we get kind of an idea that that might not be for too much longer. We get another strong negative delta, and price starts coming down. And once again, we turn bearish on the solar wind, and at the same time, strong negative delta. Good place to get in. Another 20-point drop, and here we get a bunch of negative delta coming in, but it's already been moving down for quite some time. And sometimes right at the end, you'll get an exhaustive push, similar to this up move where we'd been going up for quite some time, and we get kind of a little last ditch effort, a last little push, and then an exhaustion. Same thing happens right here. Been moving down for a while, we get a one last push, exhaustion, back up. So for myself, I only trade the first hour of the New York Open, but if you're looking later on close to noon, look at the amazingly strong delta coming in, all in this 10-minute span. Look at how big these histogram bars are compared to the rest of the entire morning. If you see something like this, it's not a good idea to take a short anytime in the near future. So we have all this strong bullish delta coming in. I guess it took a while to kick in, but we carried on up and up all through lunch. You can see when we get a little bit of a bearish solar wind trend, there's no negative delta to back it up, and it's all bullish. So this is a great combo, solar wind and volume delta. Highly recommend it. And when you get the solar wind, there's a couple different templates for a minor trend, a major trend. This is definitely a shorter term trend right here. And here's the same chart with more of a major trend on the solar wind. You can see we're getting a lot less chop. Now we stay in an uptrend, this whole move up. And early on in the morning, we get the first push down, and we stay in an uptrend all the way till after 10. Nice short trend, nice uptrend till after 11. And all I did right there is change the trend and the stop. Changed it to 5 and 10. It used to be 2 and 4, which is what came with it out of the box. And for the volume delta, you'll want to change the settings for every different instrument, every different time frame. It'll be completely different. And the way you can kind of gauge what your settings should be is you pull up this histogram and you look at previous days, and you kind of see where the high areas are, you know, to the upside and to the downside. I've got this set at 400 for a strong push up, minus 400 and positive 400. This is a NASDAQ 1 minute chart. But for something like the ES, you might want maybe more like 900 or 1000 for a strong positive or negative volume delta. There's so many ways you can customize all the different NINZA indicators. You can really get it to look exactly how you want.